a very sultry, sexy episode 69 of the 3 Count Out podcast. Joining me this week, two sexy boys from Detroit. We got Mike and Jackal. What's up, boys? Come on, lotion up. You gotta lather up, oil up. Come on, you gotta oil up for this episode. You gotta grease yourself.
I felt so moist in here.
Oh, God. I didn't think we had enough to share, so I guess I better rub up.
I got 1,000 bottles of baby lotion. Don't ask.
No. Well, there goes my whole plan to rub my oiled up body against Mike's oiled up body. Hi, everyone. I'm going to be a surprise entrant in BTW Rumble number 9, debuting tomorrow. My name's Jackal.
Oh, boy.
Are you serious?
I'm flying out to Oregon as soon as this pod is done. I'm going to knock it out, baby.
Damn. All right. Work ethic. Workhorse.
That's right, baby.
Throw
Dirty
him off
Dom,
that
the
cliff.
workhorse. It's Jackal. Throwing it back into Narnia.
Well, I am just so excited to watch that now. I'm going to fly out with you. You convinced me.
His name's Mike.
It's a date.
You gotta introduce yourself. What if no one does?
He introduced us already. I trust that they listen sometimes.
Fair.
Sometimes.
My bad. I was just too busy thinking about all of these wonderful matches that I was able to see on both Raw and SmackDown instead of getting them on the WrestleMania card. So I jumped the shark. I got a little too ahead of myself. I'm very sorry. That's my bad.
Well,
yeah, why would we watch them on WrestleMania when we can watch them next week?
I'm going to jump the shark. Montez Ford used the fucking prosthetic leg from a fan. And they put that on free TV. They put that on free TV. And they no, that's not good enough for WrestleMania. What the fuck do you mean that's not good enough for WrestleMania? What, you're telling me that match didn't deserve to be on the fucking grandest stage of them all? That was the fucking best match that they've done all fucking year. That was the match of the year. That by far blew anything from WrestleMania out of the water. Jump the shark.
And
fuck.
It kind of disinvalues my headcanon on it all, and I thought Clash of Clans specifically wanted War Raiders and New Day on the main card because they got the big old War Raiders looking like their little mobile video game characters, but they actually sponsored this match as well.
Yeah, they bought the whole damn show.
The whole tag division was brought to you by Clash of Clans.
The fucking whole WrestleMania weekend brought to you by fucking Clash of Clans. Jesus Christ, it's 2012 all over again.
Who? Tell me a little bit
Farmville's gonna be the next fucking sponsor.
I only got to see bits and pieces about this match. Give me a bit of a rundown here.
Oh boy. There was a table spot, a ladder spot, a prosthetic leg spot, a bunch of chair spots. But I mean, the ending spear of that match, I thought Dawkins was gonna break his fucking knee. The way they landed.
Yeah, they did the hanging spear. Landing. Oh.
But it wasn't a good hanging spear. He jumped like 6 feet, not even, maybe like 4 feet, and they, instead of going out, they just went down. And when they went down, he landed just square on his knees, and I was like, well, R.I.P. knees. He's not gonna have knees anymore. He's gonna be like 3'7". But
yeah, Dawkins consistently every single time there's a fucking Street Profits match, it's Montez Ford doing something fucking ridiculous. And then Dawkins taking like the worst fucking bump imaginable, and then just coming back like he's fucking Superman. It's like listen, man, it fucking works. I'm all about it.
Holy moly!
Yeah, if you don't like the Street Profits, you probably don't watch enough wrestling. That's all I can say. Because you should like all three of these teams in this match. It still bugs me that Pretty Deadly wasn't in it unless one of them was injured, because they've been a part of this feud. But, you know, I mean, the match itself, you had 3 amazing tag teams just go out there and go, well, we weren't on the card. Fuck you. We're going to put on a better show than all of WrestleMania.
That is the definition of upstaging everything. That's the kind of shit where you're like, okay, there might be some changes, or these dudes are going to get fucking buried. You know, just fucking dropped into the dirt. Which
all right, boys, you had your fun. Back to obscurity.
I don't think Triple H would do that. That's not generally what he's done. But you know, he has a habit of at least like kind of listening to what people want. So hopefully they get a massive push from this. If anybody watches this match and thinks that anybody in this match looked weak, oh, no. After watching this SmackDown, legitimately, I think that SmackDown is like the show to watch right now. You have a kick-ass tag division. You have a kick-ass women's division. Your men's division is John Cena versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. Like, how do you not watch SmackDown? And then you get fucking, like, this whole, Netflix will pay any fucking money to anybody. And so, like, the brands don't matter anymore, so you get anybody on SmackDown. It's great.
Well, so that's my other thing is, going back to Raw, why does the SmackDown champion consistently appear more on Raw than on SmackDown?
Because they got money. Netflix is just handing out cash, handing out dough.
That's what I mean. Raw's on Netflix. And, oh, yeah, I guess, okay. Yeah, it's just every time I'm like, okay,
no,
so
Netflix,
John Cena should be on SmackDown.
Netflix is just paying out the ass for anybody that they want. They're just, when they want SmackDown people on, they're just paying for that person. That's why they're always on there, because they're going, fuck you, you're a champ, come here. Come here, come get under the Netflix. Come get under the Netflix production, get under these bright lights. I mean, listen, it's working. Because, like, this time last year, we were trying to figure out what the fuck was going to happen during the WWE draft, and everything was up in the air, and which champions were going to go where, and you had some champions that were literally just swapping titles, and it was like, what the fuck is going on? Now, because we know that there's no draft, because the draft was last week. We're in the clear. We did it.
Pretty much.
The brand split's over.
It sucks. It sucks so much with the brand split because I came into the WWE around the same time as bragging rights was getting started, and as such a younger fan, I thought the bragging rights sort of concept for a pay-per-view, I actually thought it was really cool. But I guess everybody older than the age of 12 thought it sucked.
Yeah,
and of course, looking at it now, it's because they don't handle it the right way. And even still, with the most recent brand split, they still aren't handling it the right way. So it sucks, but it does ultimately make sense, man. Just let your superstars go wherever. You got 2 shows for a reason, dude. Just own it and roll with it, man. I love it.
I think the reason why I like that there's no brand split is because WWE right now is collaborating with fucking everybody. Because didn't they have people at the fucking TNA pay-per-view? Wasn't Trick Williams there?
Yeah, Trick Williams is going to be going for the TNA World Heavyweight.
Yeah. Dude, hey, if he wins it, you think TNA would be cool with that? Because I'd be cool with that. I'd be cool with that. And then you get a little heel trick. How do you get more heel in NXT than carrying the enemy title?
Very true.
And also being the one to put down Joe Hendry as well.
Yeah, really. Talking about heat, Jesus.
I am not opposed to it. And is this not the first time that an actual male superstar has crossed over to TNA as well? Because it's usually just been the women coming over, right?
Charlie Dempsey has crossed over. He's, as they say, crossed the line. They don't talk about the Forbidden Door anymore. That's an AEW word.
That one's with the other company. We're not allowed to have that.
That's the other company. Yeah, they crossed the line because I guess there was a line in the sand or whatever is what they're trying to go with. So it's like step over. So I don't know. Fuck it. Why not? You know.
He's not the first, but Trick definitely does feel like the biggest one so far.
Oh yeah, I'd say the biggest star to head over. Unless you count the WWE let goes that have gone throughout the years. Speaking of WWE let goes throughout the years.
Well, hold on, before we get to those.
Oh, like the people that let go that guy of that when they tried to do the 450 Swanton and they just let him go right under the floor.
Oh yeah, they just didn't catch him. Leon Slater, yeah, he did a Swanton 450 and they just didn't catch him.
Yeah.
That was it. You can do your bit now.
Well, no, I was gonna say we actually had an upset on SmackDown because the U.S. Women's Champion is not the U.S. Women's Champion anymore.
Well, you call it an upset, but Listen, I've come to terms. I'm okay with it.
I don't know. That's not my president. That's not my president. I miss Chelsea already, man.
No. See, Zelina gets her title and she gets her husband. She gets both.
That is true. I mean, that's a hell of a double whammy.
Mm-hmm. She gets the best of both worlds. I didn't connect those dots because that's not something that WWE pushes in everybody's face, that those two are together.
Oh, I think they probably will. Don't you worry. They've been every single week purposely putting Aleister Black's vignettes either before or after Zelina Vega's matches. I think because she just doesn't really have a lot of creative going for her right now. I don't know if he's going to be another trios dude in WWE or if he's going to go for singles titles or what, but if he builds another stable, he could have Zelina in there and she can still have her US title run, but then be backed by the, I guess, the House of Black? I don't know if they can call them that.
No, I think he'll probably end up on his own for this one. I think they brought him back specifically.
He was in NXT. He was usually by himself, so, you know.
Yeah, I'm betting he's going to be
capable
US champion before the year's done.
Yeah, hey, maybe that's what they do. You get both of them to be US champ, and then, you know, just take it right off Jacob Fatu. I love that he fucking has that title. He came out with it around his fucking neck, and I'm like, dude, this dude's gonna fucking bite someone's fucking head off.
I think that immediately legitimizes the United States Championship a lot more, especially after the fact of him getting it off of LA Knight as well, too. Like, it just feels like it's in such a good spot right now compared to the stupid-ass Intercontinental belt getting all floated around the Dom Mysterio. I don't know if I'm on that hype train just yet. I'm rolling with my boy, the Samoan Werewolf, baby.
You know what I like the most? Man. You know what I like the most about Jacob holding the belt right now? He's holding the U.S. Championship while John Cena is holding the WWE Championship through his retirement, which means Jacob Fatu is the reigning, defending, fighting champion of Smackdown on TV. So we get to see Jacob Fatu rip and tear through the Smackdown roster week after week after week until somebody comes and takes it off him. I really hope it's either Aleister Black or I know Rusev is on Raw, but maybe if they just say, hey, buddy, jump on over and go fight that. You get big, meaty men slapping meat. Like, there's so many opportunities for Jacob Fatu right now because not that people can't go for the WWE Championship, but it's just like people know that John Cena is kind of calling the shots with that right now. You know, it's his retirement tour. That's how this shit works. So it gives Jacob Fatu an opportunity to really kind of step up and be, you know, the guy that's kind of defending on SmackDown and giving the men's division something to fucking fight.
Me, personally, the first one that I just want him to put a fucking fork in just to get it done, over with, out of the way. Just let the man murder Solo Sikoa at this point, dude. I just want to get that story all sort of neatly wrapped up with a bow.
He needs to shed him quick, dog. It's not working.
Tama Tonga Loa, both hurt, both on the shelf. Let Jacob murderize Solo. Get Solo away for a while. Let him recoup, and once everybody's healthy, then you can try again and bring him back. I think Jacob Fatu's run with the U.S. title, I don't know if I need it to be like a year or too long. I think I just want him to, like, when he has a title defense, I don't want it to be close. I want it to be very, 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 very one-sided matches every single time. Yeah. I think if he needs to rip a hole into one of his opponents, the hole he's going to make, oh, fellas, I think it's going to end up being a big, gaping hole. I'm just getting little Mike giggles on the other side of it.
Because I whispered Jesus Christ under my breath.
It's yes and Mike, not then, Jesus Christ.
Oh, my bad.
Before the whole SmackDown thing, we had a Raw, which saw, instead of a crumbling faction, the start of a whole new one.
Indeed it did. Indeed it did, because the whole point of last week's episode was to try to hurry up and finish the podcast recording before the Raw After Mania started. Like you had already mentioned, Rusev had arrived. There were so many other things that went down on Raw, like fucking Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez getting their titles back the immediate fucking night after everything.
Talking about fucking ways. Fucking ways. You could have had that match happen on the fucking Raw After Mania and maybe put that fucking TLC match on the fucking actual WrestleMania card. But no, instead just waste the spot, drop it and give it back to him. Just that way you can say it changed.
Oh, so now Liv Morgan is like a 3-time tag champ, and we had Becky turn on free TV.
Bigger numbers.
Oh, yeah,
Becky's back.
Man. Just artificially inflate everybody's title reigns, even though they were only for 36 hours.
What you know about inflation?
Oh, if you are curious about Jackal Joker's knowledge on inflation, just quick Google Jackal Joker inflation. Into your search bar.
Proceed with caution.
Yeah, don't do that.
Just like Naomi, proceed with caution.
Except I'm not wearing a metric fuck ton of caution tape. The more important
you gotta pay
thing,
extra for that video.
Oh yeah, not yet at least.
Let's get back to the return of Paul E. Dangerously in the Dangerous Alliance. As we left Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker standing in the middle of the ring with Paul Heyman behind him, and I'm just sitting here going, what the fuck? I'm watching ECW in 2025, dude. Crazy.
That's how you legitimize a group immediately off rip, by having them take out two of the biggest guys in the industry. Take out CM Punk, take out Roman Reigns, stand tall to close a show with one of the industry's most iconic and legendary managers right behind him as the final moments on the Raw After Mania close out. Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, and Paul Heyman stand tall over the corpses of CM Punk and Roman Reigns with one of the nastiest corner spears I have ever fucking seen. Braun Breaker is not real. That motherfucker back there, he's not real.
He's not real, dude. He's not real. Yeah, I
just love watching it every time.
Good.
He just comes through and it looks like he's gonna murder somebody.
I just want to point out, WWE listens to this fucking podcast because we were talking about this 3 weeks ago. Before WrestleMania, when we were just shooting the shit about what we think, rumors and predictions or whatever. And I was sitting here and I said, what if they do both? They did both. So I don't want to say I told you so, but hey, Triple H, slide in our DMs. Don't worry. We'll go to a press conference and we won't ask what their fucking Waffle House order is. We'll ask real, non-clickbait, non-lazy questions.
We are in fact one of the first million people that John Cena has followed on Twitter.
It's true.
So Hunter, I'm just saying we do have some legitimacy to our podcast here. We got pull. We got pull. Mm-hmm. And if you guys are already listening and ripping off half our ideas anyways, I'm just saying, we get a little cheddar thrown our way, we'll be happy to work for you a little bit sooner. Better of ideas.
Although I do want to say, if we're putting out who we're gonna work with, I want to put out who we're definitely not gonna work with. We have some friends of the program. Okay, I'd like to declare the first enemy of the program, and that is whatever the fuck the racist Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff are going to make. And you know what? I just want to say something real quick. I really enjoy that when we talk about Hulk Hogan, that I don't have to say alleged racist, because he is a proven racist. So, I don't have to say alleged. I love that. I think that speaks leaps and bounds about someone's character. We just always put a legend on stuff, so I just want to clarify that Hulk Hogan is a known racist. So I don't.
Black box recording of him talking to his daughter definitely is not fake, not alleged, not nothing.
Nothing is scarier. Nothing is scarier, Mike. I appreciate you, dog, but nothing is scarier than opening up Twitter during my lunch break and seeing Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan on my phone going, "We're coming for you, brother! We're coming for you, brother!
Well,
ooh,
the
brother!"
Like, they had a mini jerk-off session together on top of it, where they were like, "Oh, you're the best. No, you're the best. I love you, man." And he, like,
they found the cocaine from the 80s, dude. They found the old box. They popped that shit open.
Wait, why is the video that Mike tagged me in Hulk Hogan finishing on Eric Bischoff? Ew.
Oh, that's on a different site.
They just jerk each other. Oh.
Yeah,
wait,
that's not. That's
but they're going to have a third man.
Oh, you guys were talking about Twitter.
Is the third man in the video? How many pairs of hands are jerking off Hulk Hogan right now?
No, it's just the two of them, and they're saggy, old, wrinkly, like they look like old ham, that's been in the sun too long. Yeah,
steamed hams?
No. Well, they might have been in a sauna. I don't want to find out though. Anyways, back to the video that you guys were talking about.
Yeah, no, They have, it's gonna be Eric Bischoff, Hulk Hogan, and a mysterious third man, a third host. And I'm telling you, it's gonna be
badass.
It's gonna be Billy Gunn. It's gonna be straight career suicide for Billy Gunn.
Yeah, if he does that, I really hope it's just one of those dumb things he said, and it's like Kevin Nash, and you're like, okay, that makes sense, you know. But if it's
Big Daddy Diesel.
Billy Gunn. If it's Billy Gunn, that's just him going, well, you know what? I'm done being on TV.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still
Would AEW let him be
Undertaker.
If it's that, I mean, you know, the one problem with technology is that when people get old and are done with their jobs, they go online and start fucking talking. And you know what we didn't need ever? Undertaker's opinion. Not once. Not ever. Because then you're like, oh man, this guy did get dropped on his head a few times, and his opinions kind of fucking suck. When it comes to wrestling, they're okay sometimes, but they still shit on younger talent because why not? It's the cool thing to do now. Fuck kids, you know.
Hey, shout out to the Undertaker for putting out episodes every Monday of his podcast, and then just one day deciding to just fucking stop. He made jokes every week on his podcast that it was a 50-50 on whether or not he was going to show back up the next week to record. I don't think they were jokes anymore because he hasn't posted since before WrestleMania. So shout out to all the WWE legends that have let us down. Speaking of gentlemen, if I may, speaking of WWE legends that have let us down, I want to take a moment to address Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. In fact, this message is for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. If you're not Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, please keep scrolling. If you're Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, please keep watching. At the time that you're watching this, I am in LA right now, your hometown. I'm ready. I don't care where, you give a time, you give a place, you tell me what the fuck you want, what rules you want, what stipulations you want. I don't care, Dwayne. You can't just go on a fucking podcast the Tuesday after WrestleMania and be like, I would have done that better. You weren't there. You talk about going to Elimination Chamber, and he's like, oh yeah, well, we just needed to move some tickets. There really was no plan. Dude, go fuck yourself. Get the fuck out of here. Like, this is not someone who wants to contribute to the WWE, which is the greater overall feeling that the locker room has right now, right? Like, every wrestler is like, oh, it's such a team environment. We're a family. Dwayne's just there for a fucking paycheck. All right? So listen, I'm in LA right now. You give me the time. You give me the place. You give me the address. Your people talk to my people. We'll set something up. We're going to figure this out.
I want to see you go one-on-one with the not-so-great one anymore.
He's going to get gassed after 5 minutes. I'll be fine.
The smacketh down on his old Rudy Poo rotten candy ass, dude. It's so shitty that at the end of Mania, we just get Travis Scott. I understand. The whole point of seeing his character is that he is going to ruin wrestling. And the fact that there is still people who don't understand that is the literal point of his character is starting to hurt my noggin. I understand it was supposed to be shitty. But when the whole focal point of the story was involving Cody telling you, I'm not going to sell my soul to you. Go fuck yourself. And you being the focal point of this turn of Cena selling out to you. And all of a sudden you're like, you know, I was just chilling at home and I just thought everything could have been better. That's not how I would have done it. Or my old pal Mark or whatever the fuck his little creative person's name is. I don't care. On McAfee 2 days afterwards. Great for Pat for getting the interview.
Tuesday morning quarterback.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
You know,
even if that's the truth, even if that is the case, don't make that public. Don't say it on national goddamn television, Dwayne.
Maybe I've been playing a little bit too much Baldur's Gate 3. But normally, when you sell your soul to a Warlock patron, you get a little bit more than Travis Scott in your corner. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Usually you get like a cool book of spells, you get some fireballs, you get like maybe a cursed sword or something. The Rock did not need to be involved in that. If Travis Scott wanted to be involved in WrestleMania, why didn't you just get him involved in WrestleMania? Because he made the fucking theme. Have him do some promotion. Have him be friends with John Cena. Whatever the fuck. Have John Cena just go, I made some calls and I called in Travis Scott. Whatever. What the fuck is The Rock doing there? And then what good is The Rock doing by going, yeah, I would have done it better. Yeah, I would have made some changes. I think it could have been a little bit better. I understand. What good are you doing? You're not contributing. Like, if you want to be on the fucking boat and you want to be on the bus, get on the bus. Like, no, it's just so fucking stupid. It's so fucking.
That's why back when he first came back, I was like, I'm not that excited. I'm not going to be excited. And everybody's like, but it's The Rock. The Rock's back. I don't know why you wouldn't be excited. Look, we knew what he was doing when he came back. And now all of a sudden everybody's fucking shocked. The dude was clearly just using WWE to get a fucking paycheck and be on his merry way. And instead of, playing ball at least once, he decided, nah, fuck it. I'm just going to keep on doing for The Rock. So for WrestleMania, instead of getting a storyline, we got nothing. So, oh well, that's The Rock now.
And think about how much better that match would have been if it was Travis Scott and The Rock. Whoa, two big stars, two giant names, two people that you can charge your sponsors even more billions of dollars for. By adding The Rock to anything, you make more money. They say that they were sold out. There were about 1,000 open seats in because the capacity is like 43,000 and they were at like 42,000. So maybe if you had The Rock, maybe you would have filled those extra 1,000 seats. Maybe people wouldn't have been walking out during your night 2 main event. Like, I understand if you're, if you want to help and you're saying, yes, I understand the criticism. Yes, we could do better. He doesn't want to help. He's not there to help. He's not on Raw after WrestleMania saying, the night 2 main event sucked. I'm going to make it better. No, he's at home or on Pat McAfee's show or fucking asking for money for Hawaii or whatever the fuck, the shilling Moana 2, whatever the fuck he's doing right now. I don't even know. Because he's not on fucking Raw. He's not on Smackdown. He's not on NXT. His fucking daughter puts in more TV time every week than he does.
The Rock is closer to a Disney princess than a WWE superstar at this point.
Well, and we're all getting bent out of shape, but hey, you know what? At the end of the day, he's part owner, and he's going to do whatever the fuck he wants anyway.
Yeah, I
so...
know. I know, and I got to shut my mouth and know my role and enjoy the ride that The Rock is taking me on. I don't want to enjoy it. I want to be grumpy.
He's not taking you on a ride.
He's not here riding me at all. No one's riding me right now. There is no ride, all right? Maybe if I was being ridden, maybe then it would be okay. But there's no riding going on right now. So if The Rock was here and he was riding me, then maybe my story would be a little bit different. But it's not. He's absent. He's an absentee.
I know I said it last week. Like, he shows up, interjects himself into the biggest story, and then dips. And I know with Roman's schedule, next like coming up soon, how Roman wants to get out of this physical form of media because
like after Backlash, right? Like, isn't he like eyeing up like the end of fucking May or something?
With leukemia, like I think Mike, you said it last week or whenever, it doesn't go away. Leukemia doesn't get out of your system.
And Roman Reigns gets a pass.
A pass for what? With
for having leukemia.
Oh,
he gets to work part-time because he had leukemia twice. He gets to work part-time. He got to take off during COVID. The Rock, as far as I'm aware, The Rock has not had leukemia. So
thank you for bringing me back to my point. I got a little sidetracked there for a second. The whole goal of all of this, of what people wanted to see, 1-2 years ago, I'm certain that the momentum has passed. Nobody really cares like seeing it anymore. But the whole reason why I feel like Rock was brought back to kind of, be a part of all these stories was to have Rock versus Roman, the head of the table match. And if Roman's got the schedule he has now, clock is fucking ticking. I'd say like next year is your best shot, and after that, I don't know if it's going to happen again.
I think they missed the opportunity to do the head of the table match. I'm going to be honest. I legitimately think you did, because everybody right now loves Roman Reigns. Everybody now is acknowledging that Roman Reigns is legitimately had a historic run, and that he is one of the great ones, whether you like him or not. He is going to be a part of WWE history, of pro wrestling history forever. And people are starting to get with that program now. I think the head of the table needed to be proven when they were still trying to establish the head of the table. Because when Roman lost to Cody Rhodes, that was the only thing that people really cared about at that time. Like, honestly, look at how people are thinking about Cody when he lost the belt. Go back and watch it when he lost to Cena. People didn't want Cody to win. They didn't want. No. They wanted somebody to end Roman's championship, and Cody happened to be the guy. And that's his role right now. He's the guy. When they need another perpetual babyface once John Cena retires at the end of the year, I guarantee you, 2026, Cody Rhodes is gonna be fucking Superman. We're gonna be talking about Cody Rhodes so much next year that we're gonna get fucking sick of him. But like,
so
they just
with that logic in mind, with everything that you just said being true, then if that match is already off the table, if people don't want that match anymore, then genuinely, I'm telling you right now, I don't see any point in Dwayne being involved.
I don't want him back
absolutely
anymore.
Yeah, no, I don't want
him back ever again.
If he comes back, he better be in a suit and tie, and he better just be there to fucking plug his movie or whatever. He better not be involved in any fucking story shit ever again. Ever again.
No.
He could show up backstage in NXT because he wants to say good job to Ava. He could show up and he can have his fucking, WWE legend pop or whatever. Sure, whatever. Have your moment. Don't be involved in any fucking story ever again. Because he had the opportunity to be involved in one of the most critical stories of WWE's history, of literally the most fucking groundbreaking story ever done in all of pro wrestling. Turning John Cena heel, giving him number 17. Dwayne is the sole reason that John Cena got to that opportunity, and he won't even show up to WrestleMania. He won't. Hey, Jackal, you talked about it last week. He won't even show up live via satellite anymore. He won't even fucking get on Zoom. Hell, he could FaceTime now. They could project that. They could mirror that shit right onto the Tron. It'd be easy as shit, right from a MacBook. He won't even do that.
Nope. The shine is gone. The nostalgia is gone. Hell, I can even argue the nostalgia is gone off of Stone Cold after he fucking T-boned that woman just sitting in the front row, and then she flopped her ass off.
God,
listen.
Oh, shit.
I'm good, man.
Well, guys, I have an idea. It seems like heart rates are getting a little high. People are getting
it's all
a little
the caffeine.
testy. How about we talk about what happened the last couple days, the last few days? Because, I mean, there was something kind of important, I suppose.
Was your hair transplant scheduled for, like, Saturday?
Oh, no, that got canceled. They said, that's a lot of space to cover. We do not have that much.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
for the life of me, I'm sitting here trying to rack my brain, Mike, but I can't
there was
figure it out.
something called, and it wasn't the WWE draft. It was the NFL draft.
Whoa!
Oh, World War III?
Yeah.
Oh, football.
That's
football.
it. We're going,
football.
boys.
Oh.
Yeah! Football talk! Woo!
Football! Finally!
Because-
For the first
Yes,
time since fucking February. Let's go!
We got some boys coming to the NFL now. Some in spots they thought they were going to be, and some in spots they didn't think they were going to be.
And some sitting in rooms for the whole weekend and getting prank calls. That's what I would like to start with. How the fuck did somebody get Shador Sanders' phone number to prank call him during the NFL draft?
Actually, I just
How
saw
do you
this,
do
and
that?
I can't remember the fucking team now, even though I literally just read it because I have. Huh?
I think it was the Falcons. The Falcons GM's kid.
No, it was it was the offensive or defensive coordinator. Their 21-year-old
it wasn't
son,
the GM.
Their 21-year-old son prank called Shador Sanders.
That's crazy. That is insane.
Yeah. So
you want to talk about burning a bridge right away. Holy shit.
Well, real quick, because I know we're going to get shit on if we just make fun of Shador, I'm going to say this. The reason he fell in the draft were a few things, right? He was okay at Colorado. His dad, as his manager, fucked him big time. Because people went, all right, we have to deal with Shador, which means we have to deal with Dion. Don't want to do that. No. Number 3, he interviewed real bad. And when you go also on camera and say, I have about 3 to 5 teams I want to play for, guess what? People are going, all right, fuck you then.
There's a good chance you're not.
And on top of not performing during the combine, like there were a lot of negatives right out the gate stacked against him that made him look terrible. Made him look like, hey, clearly he's going to be an issue. Why would we want that on our team? And the team that was probably going to pick him anyways got him in the long run in the end.
Yep. 5 out of 32 teams I want to play for. I bet my left nut that Cleveland was not on that list, and now Cleveland is where that man is going to.
Yep.
It's not because he's confident. It's not because he's black. I don't know why that's the MO that people are trying to push on the internet. It's because he's a goober that didn't do anything that all of these GMs and teams and people in power wanted to see him do. He decided to do none of that. And you see, I'm getting a little too excited. Have you guys seen the clip of him hanging out with Cam Ward where they're just like prepping for the draft or whatever? And he asked him, was like, hey man, like, do you want to like make a song or something? I feel like that could be fun. Cam Ward looks at him and goes, no, dude, I don't want to make music. I want to play football. I'm a football player. I think having like that type of mentality is definitely the reason why he fell as far as he did. And now, like you said, he is on a team with about 3 too many quarterbacks than they need because of the Browns. Here, I have it right in front of me. The Browns have, and I quote, no Achilles Deshaun Watson.
Nice.
The former backup Philadelphia Eagle, two tiny hand Kenny Pickett.
You can have him. The guy who wears 2 sticky gloves and he sticks the ball to his hand when he tries to throw it. That was his notable play from 2024.
Fucking did a whole front flip somersault. The dumbest move of the season last year.
He can fucking go to the Browns. See ya, bitch. Don't let the door kick you on the way out.
He's not done.
Yeah, we still got more. 3 more. We got old man Joe Flacco.
Oh, they got some depth.
Luckily, he can't play in nighttime games though because he gets sleepy.
I know.
You're so right.
I hope, because the schedule reveal, I think, is in 2 weeks to the date. I hope to God that Cleveland does not have any primetime games all season, because then that narrative would actually fit. That'd be fucking hilarious.
We have old man Flacco. We need some early games, because otherwise he gets sleepy. He can't participate.
Drafted about 2 or 3 rounds ahead of Shador Sanders, the quarterback from Oregon, Dylan Gabriel,
who I believe set a decent amount of records for, or he was at least leading this, but I think for Oregon set a bunch of records. I know that dude was on fire this season in particular.
I personally don't think he's a better quarterback than Shador Sanders, which is the reason why he was drafted that late. However, I do think he has the open-mindedness to be able to sit down and learn how to become a better NFL quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. And speak of the devil, taken in the 6th round, 5th round.
Wait, hold on. I just have one question.
Yes, sir.
So the Browns have 5 quarterbacks?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Why?
Because
your
they're
guess
the Browns, and
Yeah,
I don't know if
Cleveland.
you noticed, but pretty much every season they go through at least 3.
That is actually true.
I don't know. I feel like maybe you don't need 5 quarterbacks. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Listen.
Well, I'm going to say this, all right? Kenny Pickett, they're probably, during the preseason, maybe even the first game.
He should be practice squad.
Well,
don't put
on,
him on the field.
I'm not done. They're going to put him on the field. He's going to throw an interception immediately. It's either going to be that or he's going to throw like an 85-yard bomb and then get sacked and fumble the ball. It's going to be one of the two.
He's going to Will Levis it.
And then after that, Joe Flacco is going to be an old man, and he's probably going to finally get hurt or just vastly underperform and throw 4 interceptions per game like usual.
Nope.
Then you have Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, because let's face it, Deshaun Watson has never seen the fucking field as long as he's on the Browns.
I know.
Yeah.
So you have the real competition between 2 quarterbacks, and it's going to be, hey, which of these chuckle fucks can actually get their shit together enough to be our starting quarterback? Which one is going to take the time to actually learn and actually become competent? Because if this is the reality check Shedeur needed, he might be a good quarterback. Like, if he got humbled the way he was supposed to, hey, this works out. If he didn't, and he's still playing like, he was in Colorado, Dylan Gabriel's going to be their quarterback going forward.
And Cleveland is going to be in the dumpster of the AFC for years to come.
I just hope that old man Flacco puts his fucking ego aside so that way you can be right, Mike. Because the way that I see that going is Joe Flacco being the quarterback all fucking year. Maybe they try Kenny Pickett in the first game. Maybe they try Dylan. Maybe they try Shedeur. But the way that I see this is them sticking with Joe Flacco until he fucking dies on the field, probably.
Oh my God, how morbid.
Well, you got to rip him out of his pads, man. You got to cut him off,
Oh no, he's gonna DeMar Hamlin or Tua it, whatever comes last.
So here's the main problem, right? Is they forgot one pretty pivotal thing they need. That's an offensive fucking line.
Yep. Man.
So Kenny Pickett is gonna get sacked about 1,000 times. He fumbles the ball when that happens.
Yeah,
so
he's nothing without Mailata.
Joe Flacco is gonna get turned into old man dust. So he's gonna be done in about 2 games. Which, again, means that you have 2 quarterbacks that are going to get the absolute dog shit beat out of them. And it's just pretty much going to be which one can take it and actually deliver passes. Because
I hope you're right.
The Browns haven't had a good offensive line in quite a while.
Since Joe Thomas was still there, and that's already going on about 10 years ago.
Yeah, and they did not pick a single offensive lineman. They picked one defensive, but no offense.
I know. They the one defensive guy they picked, and because this isn't the Cleveland Browns podcast, we'll just start making this quick. Hitting up the first round, the big clickable names, ladies and gentlemen. Mason Graham out of Michigan, defensive tackle, going to Cleveland in the first round. He is a big old sumbitch, well deserved of a top 5 pick, partly due to the reason why we were able to beat the national champions last year, and also we were able to beat Alabama as well. Cleveland was only able to get him because they were able to make a trade with Duval. Unfortunately, Tony Khan not there this year in a neck brace. Although I wish he was. Jacksonville Jaguars traded on up to the number 2 spot to snag the other Colorado boy. They got Travis Hunter at the 2 in a trade with Cleveland, ensuring that their defense and /or offense is going to get immediately better next year. I kind of like this pick because comparing Cleveland to Jacksonville, Travis Hunter would have helped both teams. However, Cleveland has a lot more wrong with them than just outside of the Travis Hunter position. Jacksonville is much, much, much closer than rock bottom. So it does make more sense that he goes to Jacksonville.
And Jacksonville took a lot of picks this year to actually try and better their team. This is one of their first drafts in a while where I was like, holy shit, they might actually make this team work.
It was very impressive from some teams down south piling on up. For example, they decided to not be goobers and actually be smart with it for once in a while. The Tennessee Titans picking number 1 overall, selecting Cam Ward out of Miami to bolster their quarterback position a bit more, and hopefully put this silly little fella Will Levis out to pasture this year.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I feel like he's still going to start the season somehow.
Yeah, he'll probably start. If we're being honest with ourselves, if I'm Tennessee, I just say this year is a wash. You know, I'm not expecting much out of the Titans this year. I want to get Cam Ward experience. I want to get all of our other draft picks some experience. Then next year, we trade away some vital pieces. We get some more picks and kind of go a little bit more balls to the wall with second-year Cam Ward leading the charge, and hopefully a bit more of a favorable schedule as well.
And they did, again, they picked him and immediately tried to pick pieces to put around him. They picked a couple wide receivers, they picked a guard, and then for some reason at the end of the draft, picked Khalil Mullings from Michigan as their running back when Donovan Edwards went undrafted. But, you know...
I actually don't hate Khalil going over Donovan because I think Khalil has a bit more durability for the NFL over Donovan Edwards. I think Khalil will probably be able to take a couple more hits. And I also would say that if I had to pick a professional comparison to Khalil, I would say that Tony Pollard is probably pretty high up on that list. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he should still be on the Titans, ? I think so. Moving on, Mr. Ayers is going to have a lot to say about this one. If not him, most of the apparently female fan base of the Philadelphia Eagles at least had something to say about it. Pick number 3, Abdul Carter, going up to New York and New Jersey, playing for the New Jersey Giants.
Yeah. Listen, it's unfortunate, okay? Everybody wanted Abdul Carter to come over to the Eagles. Everybody, they thought he was going to fit right in on that defensive line. It's unfortunate that he went to the Giants, but also, this is the fucking NFL draft. This is how this shit works. I'd like to remind everybody of somebody else who went to the Giants and is now wearing Kelly Green and is the best Eagle of all time. So listen, Abdul Carter is in New York for now.
I'll say, sad for you guys, but again, the Giants were one of those teams that was like, you know what, fuck it. We're actually going to try and make some smart picks this year. We're going to try and build our fucking team. And starting off with Abdul Carter is huge.
Well, I mean, I love saying positive things about the Giants. It's just the one thing is that when you're that high up in the draft, it's kind of hard to yuck it up, in my opinion.
When the bar's on the floor, it's real easy to step over it.
When Detroit has.
We have tripped and fallen back over that bar plenty of times.
Looking at you, Jeff Okuda, you son of a fucking bitch. Moving on. Patriots made a very safe, not sexy pick in Will Campbell, a tackle out of LSU. We'll rapid fire these a little bit. Armand Membu out of Missouri, an offensive tackle going to the Jets. The most confusing name in the draft, Tetaroa.
Sound it out.
Teta Areola McMillan out of Arizona, going to the Panthers, giving Bryce Young a little bit of support.
Skipping over one of the biggest names in the draft at 6.
Because I want to spend a little bit of time talking about that one. The boogeyman himself, Ashton Genty, Michael Myers looking ass out of Boise State, getting picked number 6, going to the Raiders.
The Raiders were another one of those teams. They were like, well, we have 487 picks. Let's fucking use them.
Listen, sports fans, he's not wrong. I feel like the Raiders had the most picks this draft. I'm being honest with you. They
needed him, honestly. They needed him.
Oh, big time.
Well, because they picked him, And then, 9 hours later, even though they've needed a quarterback this whole time, they finally picked a QB at like the 4th round. So, okay. And they put a bunch of other good pieces in. Like they picked offensive tackles out the ass. They picked a wide receiver, picked a bunch of defensive tackles. But then like Cam Miller from North Dakota State. All right.
Yeah, perfect. One of those
Okay.
D2 boys, man. They sling it. Cart famously, Era's very familiar with this guy. Carson Wentz out of D2 football was able to lead the Eagles to one of their better seasons in a long time. Unfortunately, right at the last second, has what it happens with his ACL exploding into a million pieces, but was able to get the Eagles pretty far. D2 players, man, they know how to sling it.
But that's what people were talking about with Carson Wentz at the time, too. They were like, well, he's just always been that guy. His ACL is fucking held together with, fucking duct tape or whatever. Like, people were talking, he was old, whatever whatever the fuck. He gave us one of our best seasons ever. Like, just because they're a fucking lower D2 guy doesn't mean that they can't fucking throw a football. Like, those skills can be taught. You can take a good quarterback and turn them into a great quarterback. There's things that they can learn by being. Honestly, I hope going back to I know we don't want to talk about it for a while, but going back to the Browns with them having Joe Flacco, I hope he's just kind of there as like the kind of veteran wise guy, just telling people, the mentor. Yeah. Like I that's the kind of stuff that can really help and get that kind of performance out of a Carson Wentz. So, I don't think you should be writing people off. I don't ever like when people do that. They're like, he's just whatever. It's like, no, it's just because they're a mid guy doesn't mean that they're a shit guy. It might just mean that maybe he needs a little bit of a push.
I am famously a non-Aiden O'Connell believer, or not an Aiden O'Connell believer, so I do think that this D2 guy will probably be able to get them a little bit higher than O'Connell did, which is still ultimately going to be 4th place in their division still, because I think the Chargers, Broncos, and Chiefs are still head and shoulders above where the Raiders are at the moment, and it's probably going to be a while until the Raiders are anything, but they still should be better than last year, which, however, is not saying much. Moving on further down into the draft, the Saints take another safe, not sexy pick. Kelvin Banks Jr. out of Texas, an offensive tackle. That traitorous bitch, Ben Johnson, picking at number 10. Taking Colston Loveland out of Michigan. That one is definitely a spicy pick. Because
I didn't think Colston Loveland was going to go above Tyler Warren, number 1, and I didn't know. Maybe it's just because I wasn't paying attention enough during this Michigan season. I didn't realize he was good enough to be in the top 10.
I think it was more so due to his prior performances, like with JJ and Blake Corum on the team still, because this year, for the first half of the season, he was the only thing that the quarterbacks could throw the ball to. Like, legitimately, he was the only reason why Michigan was able to move the ball down the field. And once he got hurt is when the Make-A-Wish kid, to let everybody know that he's a Make-A-Wish kid and not a future NFL QB. But it's interesting because I think a lot of people would also agree, like insiders, professionals, whatever you want to call them, would say that Tyler Warren is a better overall player than Colston Loveland. So it's quite interesting to know that Ben Johnson holds him to this high regard. And when you pick in the top 10, it's very important that you nail these, because a 4-pick difference is the difference between Mitch Trubisky and Pat Mahomes. Like, it is very important that you nail this shit up at the top.
Yeah, this is 100% that relationship, though. And sometimes you need that. You need dudes that have just gelled together before, and you know that you don't have to worry about it. They're already in the rhythm of each other. They can just, there's going to be a little bit of startup, but, they've already been on a team together. They already know how the other guy plays. They already know the snap counts. They know, they know the, the old, trick plays or whatever, whatever they're going to call it. There's going to be something where that relationship is going to matter. And, that's very true. That's what they were there.
Moving on, we got Mykel Williams out of Georgia, a edge rusher going to the San Francisco 49ers. Tyler Booker, a Alabama guard, going to the Cowboys. Kenneth Grant, another big boy out of Michigan, a defensive tackle going to the Dolphins. And 14 is the other player that we just spent this time talking about, Tyler Warren from Penn State, making his way to the Indianapolis Colts to join Danny Dimes and Anthony Richardson in probably the second weirdest quarterback room out of the entirety of the NFL this season.
Yeah. Let me tell you, McAfee was really, really, really happy about that pick. And I'm really happy for McAfee. I'm really happy for Indiana that they get to have Tyler Warren. He's explosive, and he can do everything. He's a fucking dog. He's going to kill it out there in Indiana. But, oh boy, am I really not looking forward to the next few years of Penn State football without Tyler Warren. That is the unfortunate side of college football, is that all of these men are going into the NFL, and they're going to have great careers, and college football is going to keep turning without them. And, listen, it was fun talking my shit for the past couple of years, but you guys, don't worry about it, all right? I'm going to be depressed next college football season. That's what that means. Or maybe I'm just going to start watching Colts games. Who knows?
You are talking to someone who went from national champion to 8-5 the immediate next year after. So if anyone here knows your pain, it's definitely the two guys you're talking to at the moment.
Very true. We've gotten through 14. 15 was Jalen Walker from Georgia going to the Falcons. Good pick. Now,
solid ball.
Who are some picks that, because we had Amik Agbuka from Ohio State go to the Buccaneers, which I think is a huge target for Baker Mayfield. But who are some picks that you were surprised where they were, or did you think they should have been higher or lower?
Eric, would you like me to go first, or would you like?
You can definitely go first on this one.
Okay. I got two for you, Mike, and they were actually unironically both one right after the other. If you're talking specifically player and player alone, definitely Jackson Dart at 25. I 100% thought, and also as someone in Michigan not really following the whole Colorado story too much, just seeing all the media hype about him, I 100,000,000% thought Shedeur is going to be a first-round talent. Seeing the Giants trade back up into the first round, especially after Pittsburgh passed on a quarterback and getting a D tackle. Also, real quick on that one, the Pittsburgh D tackle that got drafted, he got picked, ran to the hospital to tell his mom, who was dying of a fucking illness, told her that he got drafted, and then she passed almost immediately afterwards.
Jesus Christ.
Derek Harmon, you got me as a fan for life, dude. That is such a sad story. I want to see nothing but good things happen to him. But the Pittsburgh fan base was real upset that they didn't get a QB. So seeing the Giants trade back up, knowing that their QB room is Broncos country, let's ride, and famous Jameis, I can't forget Tony Cutlets, I can't forget Tommy DeVito, knowing that Shedeur is still on the board, I'm going, okay, well, here's the Shedeur pick. Oh my God, they're taking the white boy out of Mississippi. Oh my God, he's 5'11" and 100 pounds soaking wet, dude.
Is he the one? I can't remember. Was he the one that said he doesn't watch game tape?
I think so. He's like, man, I just go out there and do it.
He's saying that as a selling point?
Because John Gruden has this little YouTube series where he sits down with NFL QB prospects and interviews them and talks to them.
Because John Gruden still believes he could make the best quarterback.
Right. And he's like, so when do you watch your tape, what are some things that you look for in yourself or something along the lines like that? Yeah. He goes, I don't watch tape, man.
Okay. He was saying that as a selling point about himself, that he doesn't watch tape. How the fuck is that a selling point? What the fuck do you mean you don't watch tape? We live in the year of our Lord 2025. People are fucking ranting and raving about the Pope and the Antichrist and shit, and you don't watch fucking tape? You won't pull your own goddamn football up on the TV? You won't fucking sit there with the rest of your team and critique yourself? What do you mean you just go out there and do it?
The thing is now, what we have to realize, what made me feel old as shit, by the way, these are all kids born in 2003, 2004.
You're right. This is all the bullshit generation.
Pretty much.
This is a generation that half-asses shit because of COVID, and they need to come out of their fucking houses for 5 years. These motherfuckers, they don't got to drive like we do. Back in our day, we had to walk to school uphill both ways.
If you listen to him talk, he just sounds like a young Matthew McConaughey. You know, he's just like, man, I just do it. I just go out there,
man.
Okay, well, maybe that's his vibe. I still think that you should watch tape, though.
But then also the Giants, the pick that surprised me, the Giants also got, and maybe it's because he performed poorly at the Combine. I don't know. I didn't watch it. Cam Scatabo in like the 4th round.
That might be the steal of the draft. He's
this dude,
a slippery little white boy.
Basically carried Arizona State last season, and then as like a running back wide receiver duo, and then just kept on falling down the draft. And I was like, really? And he just kept going. I thought he was going to end up undrafted too, but then the Giants were like, all right, we'll take him. I think because what?
I'm sorry, God, I need to get better at that, man. I'm so sorry. It's just real quick.
It's the Discord delay. It's the Discord.
I just think it's because not that many teams need a running back. That's all I was going to say. I'm sorry,
That's
Mike.
probably true. But that's kind of the thing he brings to the table is that he was a wide receiver a lot. He caught, I think, more passes than any other running back last year. But, I mean, I think if Jackson Dart ends up being good, because let's face it, Tony Cutlets and Daniel Jones probably not going to be cutting it.
Actually, Mike, it's Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. Daniel Jones is on the Indianapolis Colts.
Jeez, how can I forget? Jameis Winston will play 2 or 3 games for him, and get like 4 touchdowns each game, but also 4 interceptions, right?
It'll be the best and also simultaneously the worst NFL game of all season next year.
For sure.
Yeah, mid as fuck.
I think if you get Jackson Dart and Cam Scatabo, and then the other wide receivers they got all going, and you have Malik Neighbors, I think that could be a scary offense if they perform well.
I would be scared to see them on my schedule if it was any other team not named the Giants.
Yeah,
if this was
the Giants haven't been able
any
to do
other
anything
team
since Eli.
Right.
Yeah. You know, you talked about like team need and like not a lot of people needing a running back. Do we know what the most drafted position was for this year's draft? Like, what were people going after? Because a couple of years ago, that was the running back craze. You know, that's when everyone was trying to beef up.
I know I was talking about it at one point. A shitload of edge rushers, offensive and defensive tackles also both went crazy.
A lot of O-line, D-line. I don't think it's going to be any position group specifically. I'm going to say it was the big boys dominated this year.
Hey. Yes. And the NFL's about to get bigger. Teams are about to get heavier. They saw what happened with the Eagles. When you have the biggest fucking defensive line,
that's true.
Turns out you can just bully your way through a Super Bowl.
I need to figure this out. I need to find his name again. There's a dude that got drafted, I think, by a crappy team. But the guy is called like the Tush Push Terminator.
Was he the 400-pound guy? Is that the guy you're talking about?
Oh, yeah, he went to Tampa Bay.
Was it Tampa Bay?
That big old, like I saw a little stat, like Tampa Bay now has the lightest player in the NFL.
Aaron Gibson.
Oh, I think I'm thinking of someone else.
He didn't go to...
Oh, no, Desmond Watson is the heaviest player.
Desmond Watson, yeah, that's
Desmond Watson.
Where was he?
Undrafted free agent. Because I don't think he has much going for him except the fact that he's big.
He did sign with Tampa Bay, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did sign with Tampa Bay after the draft.
Like, they call him the Tush Push Terminator, and I was like, uh-oh.
I mean,
I'm going to have another team just doing that the whole time?
That's how you beat it, though. I mean, if you're the biggest motherfucker out there, that's the idea.
How can Jalen Hurts not run? Just not being able to run through 500 pounds of flesh.
Listen, Jalen Hurts can, I think, squat. One of them squats 500 pounds, and the other one squats 600 pounds. Desmond Watson is 464 pounds, which means theoretically he can be pushed. Okay.
Well, here's the thing:
if there is a tush, it will be pushed, and the people in front of it will be pushed.
How much he can squat, and he's pushing back.
That weight has legs.
We'll have to see.
But to give the second part of my answer to your question, Mike, the one So as far as actual player-wise surprising me, I would say Jackson Dart. As far as a team actually surprising me, I'm going to give that to the Atlanta Falcons this year, where in the past, I would arguably say that they had the worst draft last year when they gave Kirk Cousins a blank check and he took $100 million from him. And then they turned around and drafted Michael Penix out of Washington. That draft pick in the first round was definitely pretty stupid, and they're still trying to sell Kirk Cousins away to somebody. And oddly enough, nobody wants him. But when they picked Jalen Walker with Georgia in the 15th spot, normally I would just assume, okay, we'll just see the Falcons next. The Falcons actually trade back up into the draft. Let me see if I have my information here correctly. Yes, they trade with the Rams. The Giants traded with Houston. The Falcons trade with the Rams. They move up and take James Pierce Jr. out of Tennessee, making Falcons defense significantly more scary almost instantaneously. I love him. He is the only player that I will play as on Tennessee's defense when I'm controlling them in college football 25. And I just know if your stats are that good in the video game, oh brother, it's going to translate into real life. And I looked it up. They were ranked, James Pierce Jr. was ranked as the 16th best player in the draft, and he goes at 26. This dude is a beast. This dude is a monster, and getting him with Matthew Judon, comparing, and also with Jalen Walker, yeah, I'm glad we aren't playing the Falcons next year, because that defense has the potential to be really damn good.
Yeah, I think team-wise, I'm not saying this in a good way, I'm just saying it in a surprising way. Buffalo helped their offense absolutely none and just literally scraped as much defense as they could off of the draft board. Because, I mean, I think they drafted a wide receiver in the 6th for shits and giggles. But other than that, I think their whole draft was defensive players. It's nuts. And I'm like, so we're not going to really try and help the choke artist at all, eh?
You guys are just expecting Josh Allen to be... Don't worry, guys. This year is the year that Josh Allen is going to beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Trust us. Okay, sure. But since I know we're getting a little bit long in the tooth here, there were some more picks throughout the first round. If you're curious about them, they are definitely up on Twitter everywhere you are able to find them. Let's turn the tables to our two teams. First, we're going to start with your Detroit Lions, as they picked at pick number 28, taking Tyleik Williams from Ohio State, a defensive tackle in the first round.
You know
Caught me off guard night one, but the more I think about it, Mike, the more I like it.
Listen, this was completely, I didn't look him up. It just farted and appeared on my For You page on TikTok. That man is fucking stoked to be a Lion. And again, coming from somebody that has seen the Lions be the Lions for a long time, having somebody be excited is a new feeling, and man, does it feel fucking good.
Yeah, you can go back and watch the old draft stuff. Matthew Stafford wasn't exactly grinning ear to ear when he got picked by the Lions back in 2008. You can't really say that boy was excited, but Tyleik, he definitely
made
was.
A whole dance TikTok about it.
He did. He's happy. He's pumped. The dude's a cat dad. He loves cats. He's going to a cat team. The only downside is that he's a Ohio State player, going to Michigan, which is, completely understandable. Thankfully, he has Taylor Decker there to kind of talk him through the whole matter and learn how to adjust accordingly and be a normal human being.
Oh, yeah, he'll be fine. He went from being an Ohio State player to a Detroit Lions player. He's fine in my book.
What I forgot about is that DJ Reader is currently on his last year of his 2-year contract, and Aleem McNeil is also a one-legged man until probably halfway through the season next year. So we have a big old nice John O'Connor-sized hole right there on the defensive line. and this pick is definitely going to patch it. And now that we have the 3-man rotation with DJ Reader, Aleem McNeil, and now Tyleek Williams, oh, baby, I'm a big old fan of that. And throughout the rest of the draft, Tate Ratledge, an offensive guard out of Georgia.
Tate Ratledge is a good pick.
That is the most Cracker Barrel looking sumbitch I've ever laid my 2 eyes on. That's a country boy with a mullet and a Joe Dirt stash. I'll tell you what.
He's got that farm strength.
He does, man. He's like, I like me a Braun Strowman, and that's it. We got
I like pickup trucks. I just push them everywhere. I don't drive them.
Literally Nicholas Tesla.
Huh?
Nick.
What?
Nick Tesla. Well, it's Isaac Tesla. It's his brother.
Fuck, I thought it was Nick. Damn it. Never mind.
But
you got a fucking inventor on? You got Einstein on your team?
Literally.
Oh, fuck.
A man from Arkansas that is 6'4", one of the bigger wide receivers we are going to have, which is interesting because we still have Amon-Ra, we still have J-Mo, we still have Tim Patrick. So it puts it in a weird spot, but he gives us extension, I guess. He makes another target we didn't have before. So
also,
that's fine.
From Michigan, hometown boy. He knows all about the Lions.
There you go.
And then we padded up the O-line a little bit more. We padded up the safety position as well, and also snagged another wide receiver late. I did not like this draft at first, but the more homework I do on it, I was an even bigger fan after it was all said and done. I'm going to give this one a hearty, solid B-flat grade. It's not sexy. It's not amazing. It filled holes, and it did what it needed to do.
Yeah, I just heard a lot of mixed reviews from this year's draft about the Lions, because I'm not somebody who sits there and watches the draft. I mean, I keep up with the headlines, and I'm on Twitter, and I try to at least know what's going on, but I can't just, I got shit I got to do. But, everyone online is just being like, man, the Lions are just fucking around for the first couple of rounds. And I mean, it sounds like they had a pretty good run of it, though.
When you first look at the picks, if you just look at them, they don't make a lot of sense.
I know.
And then you go into how the team's been, you're like, oh shit, they needed these guys. We do need a third defensive tackle that can be starting immediately, that can be in and out on the ball, and he's going to make an impact right away.
Yeah, you just need people.
Yeah, exactly.
You need warm, able bodies.
Well, here's the thing. We had that last year. You saw how it went.
You need more.
Kinda. We need an actual team, and that's what we finally got. So we picked pieces that on paper you're like, I don't know, but they actually make sense when you break the team down.
Yeah.
And another team that made some picks, and hopefully we can get a little breakdown about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell
Pick
yeah.
Number
Before you
31.
go into your spiel, they did exactly what we said they needed to do.
Big time.
They filled all those holes they got rid of. They went, buy people that are going to cost us hundreds of millions. We're going to get some new guys instead.
Yep. Yeah. Listen, off the start, do I think it is the Super Bowl winning team that we had last year? No. Do I feel a whole lot better than I did a couple weeks ago? Yes. Because you guys may have had some mixed reviews coming out of the Detroit draft, but the Philly draft, flying colors. I love this. People critique it because we didn't get Abdul Carter and we didn't get Tyler Warren and blah, 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 blah. I don't care. This was filling the holes. Because, Jackal, you already started talking about him a little bit, coming in at number 31, Jahad Campbell.
Linebacker out of Alabama.
From Alabama. We love us some Alabama defense. Oh boy. This is why I'm not worried about Abdul Carter, right? Because I think, a lot of people are looking at him and they're like, a lot of people look at him and they're like, hey, he's good, but he's probably not going to start. And I could see that. He is going into his rookie year. I understand. I think he will definitely get playtime. I think personally he should start because you could put him, kind of opposite of Zach Bond because Nakobe Dean's still out. He's still hurt. So, we still have that. We still have that linebacker spot open. And I feel like, Jahad Campbell coming out of Alabama, they put something in the water down there. I'm excited. And he fucking tore it up in the fucking combine. So, and apparently he was one of those people where they were like, yeah, as soon as we saw his name, It was right away. It was on site. So I'm happy about that. I feel like that fills the hole of losing Abdul Carter.
I actually don't hate that. I really don't hate that shout. I do believe he is day one starting material, and I do think that the way that your defensive line plays with your bolstered secondary, with some explosive whites on the roster, it sort of allows him to have this sort of cushion where he's allowed to make a couple mistakes from time to time because all these other pieces around him are at such an elite level that he is going to learn, and he's going to learn real quick.
Yeah. He's also a hometown boy. He's from Ariel, New Jersey, which is about 15 minutes from where I'm from. So he's about maybe 30, 45 minutes out of Philadelphia. So, still in that South Jersey area. So again, I'm not really worried about losing Abdul Carter because we have Jahad Campbell, and it's filling that hole that you need to fill.
And Jahad Campbell was the first out of 10 picks in order. Your picks went linebacker, safety, D-tackle, corner, linebacker,
I like
center.
that. I like that safety. I was reading about him. He's
Andrew Makuba.
He was the fucking interception leader in the SEC in 2024. Yep. 5 interceptions. Yeah. So I listen. We all saw how that Super Bowl went. So if we can get even more interceptions, oh boy, I'm gonna be. Listen, Penn State football might suck next year, but Eagles football, oh boy, it's still gonna be fun to watch. It's still gonna be very fun to watch.
Might be looking to go back to back.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe in a couple of years, let these rookies build up, but I don't think so.
I will say, I think this is one of those draft classes though, where they picked smart, which, people are always like, but that's so boring. They didn't do anything like crazy or anything like that. Good. Yeah. They didn't.
Yeah.
They picked smart. They picked who they needed to pick. And they built, I think, a scary offensive or defensive team again.
I think that sentiment could be shared about literally every single team this draft. This whole draft was not sexy from top to bottom. It was a bunch of safe picks, a lot of team building picks. It was very boring, but also very necessary.
Real quick, there is one Eagles pick that I want to talk about because I want to get your guys' opinion on this, because I saw this and I was kind of like, okay, but why? Round 6, pick number 181 to the Philadelphia Eagles from Syracuse, Kyle McCord, quarterback. Why the fuck are we picking up a quarterback around 6? So, I looked into him. He led in passing yards, and he set the ACC's single season passing record of 4,779 yards in his lone season with the Orange after leaving Ohio State for Syracuse. He's a Philadelphia native. He threw 34 touchdowns to 12 interceptions last year. So, he's got an arm on him. I get it. It's like, okay, good quarterback, but why round 6, number 180? Is this just because his name was on the board and they said, fuck it? Because then you're following that up by other positions that we needed. Because the pick right after him was an OT from Michigan, was Miles Hinton. So it's like they're grabbing people that we need after this. It's not just like we have nobody left, let's just throw something out there because we can. It's just a random quarterback pick just late in the draft.
I got choice words to say about Kyle McCord. If you were asking me about 2 years ago, I think I would be a lot more meaner about him. But since he said what he said, or lack thereof, when talking about Ohio State, I think I'll refrain. He is probably going to be a perennial backup.
You think practice squatter?
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be ever someone who sees the field, probably. I think this is just going to be someone that, is going to be a backup for the sake of being a backup, because you guys do have Jalen, and Jalen is probably going to be your QB for the foreseeable future.
Well, we also have Tanner McGee too. We already have a backup, I guess he'll be QB3. Yeah, the Mormon Missile. Yeah, the Mormon Missile.
Yeah. So I don't think I would look too much into it, but I would say an offensive line pick late into the draft is much more significant instead. So, but and also it's the 6th round. I don't think you should be expecting much out of 6th round pick anyways. Those are the guys that have a lot less to worry about with stuff on their shoulders. So all in all, it's nice knowing that you smoked half your picks already and you got a whole nother 10 waiting for you next draft.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
That's the craziest thing is we get to do it all over again next year.
You built a solid defense where all of these guys are just going to grow, and because they let everybody go, they saved a fuckload of money. So, I mean, this defense right now, for at least the next 3-4 years, is cheap.
Yep. We're cheap and we're stacked, and we're big.
But, so I also wanted to say one team that was super disappointing for this draft. Hey, what's been Cincinnati's big glaring red flag? Their defense, right? I mean, they can score 50 points a game. Yeah. They drafted 3 defensive guys. Now, Shamar Stewart, great. Good job. Then you picked Demetrius Knight Jr. from South Carolina at linebacker and Barrett Carter at linebacker. Cool. 3 defensive pieces. And then you picked 2 guards and a running back. Okay. So your problems are still going to continue because
unresolved.
Yeah, like they should have taken a page out of Philly's book and been like, hey, you know what? Maybe we should just get defensive guys this draft and kind of let things lie for now and kind of figure our stuff out instead of let's help our offense too. Let's pick a random running back in the 6th just cause.
That makes too much sense.
Yeah.
I'll give it a quick answer because I think that's all the type of attention that Cincinnati deserves at the moment. I think it's mainly due to they only had the 6 picks. They had 1 pick each round except for the 7th. Yes. So when someone goes to Cincinnati, they like to hold on to them. Cincinnati is not a team that ever really trades people around.
It's like a black hole.
Oh yeah, if they do lose somebody, it's because they cut them. They don't often, if at all, trade with people, so they don't have many picks to work with. So I'm not surprised that they only did a half and half off defense. But when you only do an edge and a linebacker, when your whole problem was getting burnt over the top, in my opinion, it's definitely a choice. However, we'll see what Cincinnati and the rest of the NFL has in store for them, because the next time we get to talk about the NFL is the NFL schedule release, which is sooner than you think. I believe it is coming out May 14th. It is a whole special day now where we get to talk about football one more time. And hopefully, the NFL is listening to the 3 Count It Out podcast as well and gives us Detroit versus Philly night 1, baby.
Book it, you cowards!
Book it, pussies! And also, a bit aside, I would like to just get it done and over out of the way so we could be friends all season, so we could just be angry for a week and then enjoy the rest of the football season.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Absolutely, yeah.
But we can't do that until this episode comes to an end, because, gentlemen, I don't know about you, I am puckered out. I'm tired. I know we got Raw going on right now, and I need to eat and watch it, baby.
You're puckered out?
Real quick. I want to just give a quick important announcement about next week's episode, because next week we will be joined by a special guest. That's right, making their 3 Count Out podcast debut, plugging their brand new podcast, new episodes coming out every Monday and Friday, wherever you get your podcasts. From the Mindful Mistreatment podcast, we will have Dream University on next week. I'm very excited. We're going to be talking a fuck ton of wrestling. They're very excited as well. It is about time. They are a very good friend of the program. So it's going to be very fun having them on.
Why do I have an invoice in my email that you guys are sending me to Australia to scout out locations for the 3 Count It Out Down Under show?
Hey, Aaron, it's getting real fuzzy. I don't know. I can't say it anymore. Oh, jeez.
What?
Jackal, Jackal, does this smell like chloroform to you? Is this?
What's it? the thing again?
Come on. Does this smell like chloroform? Breathe it in. Breathe it in. Breathe it in. Deep breath. Deep breath. Deep breath. Deep.
It smells like you should follow twitch.tv/JackalJoker or youtube.com/JackalJoker. Okay, good night.
He hit his head hard on the way down. Oh, no.
Hey, real quick, you should also follow the 3 Count Out podcast over on Spotify. Leave us a little rating if you've listened this far. It means you can. Leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you thought about this year's NFL draft. Comment of the week this week comes from David RN9FV. He said, hate to point it out, but the actual number of titles Flair won is somewhere in the 30s. WWE refuses to acknowledge certain companies ever existed before the 1990s. I'd make the argument that those companies also don't acknowledge officially that Ric Flair was the champion. They acknowledge that he held it in a disputed status. And fuck you, it's the WWE. We're not going to go on this rant because this episode does not need to be any longer. If you're listening over on YouTube, you can go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell icon. I think it says like subscribe plus now or some bullshit. They're changing it. I don't know. But comment below and we'll read off your comment next week. And if you're wrong, we'll shit talk you just like I shit talk David. If you want to find more of me, you can find me over at twitch.tv/EraV1. You can find me youtube.com/EraV1 Music. And if you're listening to this right now, you can find me passed out in a parking lot in LA after Dwayne beats my ass.
Yeah,
he's not going to beat my ass. He's not going to be. I can fight Dwayne. Come here. I can fight him.
And if you like me, listen to this and then go download our podcast and all the past episodes and listen to those too.
Everything.
If you don't like me, that's okay. Apparently, I have to drive Jackal to the emergency room because
wait. Before you drive him, you want me to count it for you? You barely ever get pinfalls. I feel like usually you're the one counting.
You know what? That's fair. Yeah, you know what? I'll put a couple fingers on him because I don't want to get that on me.
Yeah, you're supposed to dilute the chloroform with water a little bit so that way it's not as potent. I didn't do that. I just let it rip. But okay, listen. Let me.
I'm here. Go ahead.
Let me get down. Hold on. My knees have been bad these past couple of days. It's been raining. It's been cold. It's been
the weather's been weird.
1, 2, 3. That's it. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. You should probably take him to the hospital. Call poison control.
Yeah, definitely.
Get some activated charcoal. Flush his system. Pump his stomach. The usual.
And they can put water in his ass or whatever they do.
Yeah, whatever they want, I guess.
Yeah.